Button up shirt, let's go. All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Educated Colin Snap channel. How you doing? So today we're going to be talking about Spider Ham. It's a card that was just released into the Series 4 pool. Actually, it's on Series 4 for cash right now, but it's going to be, and it's a very interesting card. I do have some thoughts on it, and do I recommend it, what it should be used for, and just some things about it, whether I think it should be in the game in its current state or not. Let's begin. So, first of all, if you don't know, Spider Ham is a 1 mana, 1 power card with the ability to turn the highest cost card in your opponent's hand into a pig. So the pig is a 4/0 base stat, and it just basically neuters or neutralizes the ability of the card. So it essentially is a leech for one mana, but only targeting 1 card. So do I recommend this card? Currently, absolutely. I think this card is extremely powerful, very annoying card. It's only worth 3,000 tokens right now. It's technically less if you add in the weekend event is blah blah blah, but generally 3,000 tokens, and I just think it's a card that will be played in a lot of decks in the future. It's very flexible, and you can kind of just put it into a lot of your current deck list, just changing 1 card, and I would say it consistently will make that deck stronger. So it's going to be hard not to not want this this card in the future. So I just think it's currently a card I would recommend getting. Now, there are some unique things about Spider Ham that I want to talk about. I think needs to be addressed, needs to be mentioned. First thing off is that you can see the card that you hit from Spider Ham. So there are cards like Yondu, other, I guess, control-ish cards where you don't get this by Yondu I mean Iceman. There's a card like Iceman where you don't get this controlling aspect, where with Spider Ham you do. This does allow for powerful information gain. And also, it's not only that you're gaining information, you also like completely crush a card in their hand, right? So that's a card in a lot of cases they won't want to play, while you also get to have some reads in what decks they're trying to run, what their game plan looks like, etc. So you get this double whammy of, hey, I now know what you're running, plus I now have potentially ruined your strategy for this game. So it's quite a double hit. Cards like Iceman do something very similar, but since you don't have that information of, oh, I've ruined their apocalypse or whatever, you don't have that full confidence to really play out the game, because you're like, okay, I could have hit this, but I could also could have hit that, so I don't really know exactly what I hit, so that really leaves a lot to be desired. Another thing, I mean, I'm not going to directly compare this to Iceman, right? But Iceman doesn't hit their best card, right? Like, that's something unique with Iceman, where you can't hit their best card. You have to hit something cheaper than 6. So because of that, you're not ruining their full game plan. Their late game bomb, which is really a lot of times what matters. Where Spider Ham, you do get to ruin their exact best card a lot of cases. So this is just a really powerful double whammy for Spider Ham, which I personally have a problem with. I don't think you should be able to see their card, but in the current case, this is something to be aware of when you are playing with or against it. Whatever they target, they know that they've targeted, so got to keep that in mind. Next up is the pig's base stats is a 4/0, which I think is particularly weird. 4 is such a unique power to give a card, right? Like, it means that it synergizes with Zabu. It means that it gets moved by Magneto. It gets moved by Asteroid M. Since it transforms the card is not something that starts your deck, so Quinjet will discount it. And then Shadow King will make the pig 0 power. I definitely think the 4/0 stat line is super weird in particular. Like, almost any other stat line doesn't have this issue where now you're opening up Magneto, Asteroid M, and Zabu. It makes things very complicated in a normal game. If your opponent's playing Zabu and they hit you hit like their 5 cost card or whatever their 6 cost card. Now they can play that 6 cost card on 5, right? And that's something I really don't think Zabu needs. Like it's already a really powerful card in the game, and just opening up like, oh, okay, Zabu can now make the pig transform a little bit better for myself. Is just a very weird interaction to add in the game. Really don't think that makes a lot of sense from like a strategic standpoint. I think you want to just have the base stat something that's not interactable with a lot of things in the game, whatever number that would be. So definitely a weird thing. Also, the Magneto just being able to move whatever you target is also particularly weird, right? So let's say you target something, they play it, and then you Magneto. Same thing with Asteroid M, right? You have to be aware that, oh, the pig target is a 4 cost, so I have to make sure that Asteroid M is full or blah blah blah. Like it's just weird to have it here in these scenarios. Nice thing for the pig is that Shadow King can make it 0 cost power or 0 power. So that is, I don't know if it's an intended benefit. It might be, right, but Shadow King, I wouldn't say is like super strong right now, but you do have this interaction where if maybe you're playing this in a Silver Surfer deck, well, you can run Silver Surfer, Shadow King, and Silver Surfer pretty easily, and that could be a nice tool for neutralizing one of their bigger plays. So I don't mind the Shadow King interaction. Also, don't mind the Quinta interaction. I just think that since it's a 4-0, the Zabu and Magneto stuff is a little bit weird. Those are the ones I kind of have an issue with. Following up on this, it doesn't work. I would say the transformation does not work with Hulk and Knull. Now, it doesn't mean that they'll keep their abilities. It just means that their stat lines will be locked in when you transform them. So let's say you play Spider-Ham on 4, and they've been passing their first 3 turns. It's still going to get that +6 power, so it'll turn into maybe an 18 power Hulk instead of maybe a 20 power Hulk if you let them fully do it. Same thing with Nog. Let's say they play Yondu or something and it hits their Hulk or whatever, and then you play the Spider-Ham. They're still going to have a 12 power Knull. So it's not neutralizing their abilities. It's just locking the ability in when the Spider-Ham hits that card. So it's not due to any interaction. It's just that they've calculated the power on Hulk and Knull differently than other ongoing cards because their power would be difficult to track. So because of that, their power is kind of baked in, even if it's in your hand and not on the field. So it's definitely weird, but if you're looking for Spider-Ham as like a Hulk counter, the point is that doesn't happen here. It's not really a Hulk counter. Maybe they're getting a 16 or 18 power Hulk instead of a 20 power Hulk. I guess if you play turn 1, right, that's when you'll get the 12 power Hulk, but that's still 12 power. It's not like negligible. So I'm just letting you guys know, making sure that you're aware that it doesn't really work perfectly for those 2 cards. So they are saying they're going to adjust it in the future, but for now, right, we don't know how long that's going to take. For now, right now, it's not really a counter to Hulk, which a lot of people are looking for. All right, now another big thing about Spider-Ham that I don't particularly like is how it can invalidate archetypes. So there are a lot of decks that do rely on their 6 drops in a big way, and if Spider-Ham becomes very popular, there's just going to be a lot of decks that are going to feel very frustrating to play into those matchups because if you hit something, you hit a death early, you hit a Hela, Apocalypse, Zola, Dr. Doom, Heimdall, even though Heimdall could be like a buff, I argue. But if you hit, there's a lot of like powerful 6 drops that if you hit early, does 2 things, right? It does tell you what they're playing, and then it also makes it really hard for them to play the rest of the game out. If you hit their Apocalypse, right, it means that their Modork isn't doing a lot, right? Same thing with Hela. It means that your discards aren't going to be doing a lot for them. Dr. Doom is maybe not that bad because those decks are very flexible and may have other options, but it means that they can't like reach into the final, into some hard to reach location in the final turn. You have to be aware, like, okay, they can't play Doctor Doom into this location, the Doom bots. So it does affect it. Zola is more niche. There are some ramp decks that are playing Black Panthers or Zola. You hit the Zola, okay, well, can't do that anymore. And then Heimdall is just like move final turns. Still happens. But the point is that by having Spider Ham in the game, you're not going to be incentivized to be starting to play these type of decks, because you know that if the opponent is playing Spider Ham, they hit your Apocalypse, they hit your whatever, well, boom, right? Your discard deck is now very problematic. You might not want to play that, and over time, it's just going to um, encourage people to not play these particular archetypes anymore, because there's such a big weakness in the game. It's similar to what's it called, Enchantress and stuff like, and Shang-Chi and stuff like that, but it has such a low investment. You only have to play that one cost card, that it's a lot easier for more decks to run and not feel frustrated, right? When Enchantress was like maybe a little bit weaker, it was hard to play because you had to justify playing a 4 cost card with a low stats. Now it's a little bit easier, but it just it's such a game changer in what decks people start approaching, because now every deck that you build, you have to think about, oh, do I auto lose to a Spider Ham, right? And that kind of thing is just like very weird to have a game where you have to now start building around all these different options and stuff like that. So just a problematic scenario. I don't really know if you can necessarily change anything, but it's just something to be aware of. And I kind of want to look in the future to see if things like discard becomes a lot less popular, if things like just like big final turn decks become a lot less popular, because there's an easy way to counter that without really a huge investment. All right. Next thing I want to talk about is Spider Ham is not in pool 4 caches right now. So it's supposed to be a pool 4 card, and because of that, you should be able to get it in a pool 4 cache. But Secondary currently has a bug where it's not in the pool 4 cache. I think it might be in the pool 5 cache, even though it's a pool 4 card. Just like they've never added a card to pool 4 directly before, so they've probably just messed up in having it go directly to pool 4 in some way. But currently, if you are trying to open pool like a lot of caches to get it for free, right? Maybe you've been saving up or whatever. You actually can't get it right now. So I don't know when that's going to be fixed, but this is an expected bug, honestly. When you when you look at secondary, they've never released a card to pull 4, so it's not too surprising that they're gonna have issues during it the first time. Hopefully, Spider-Man 2099 doesn't have the same issue, but I do want to be aware for the people that are looking for it. The best way to get it is by spending the 3,000 gold. You can't really open caches right now and get it, so what are you gonna do? Now, in terms of what decks can you play Spider Ham in, the card is very flexible. It doesn't really make sense for me to say, oh, you can play it in this particular archetype. It kind of works as an Iceman replacement. I would say it's pretty much generically just better than Iceman in almost every scenario. Not every scenario, but in a lot of scenarios, it just does more for you as a card. Just the information gathering and the way it neutralizes some archetypes is just probably stronger. But in particular, there are some particular archetypes that probably are going to be doing a lot better right now. The Lockjaw archetype is very easy to play it in, because you can just put it into a Lockjaw, it still targets, and then you get a better card out of it. Bounce is just very synergistic. It allows you to play it multiple times if you want to, and it just fits into the archetype anyways. You're playing Iceman and Bounce a lot of times anyways, so it's very easy to slot it in. And uncontrolled decks are also just something very easy to play. And since you usually want to do something early to kind of make the game awkward for your opponent, it means that you can just add this in as something to make awkward for your opponent, and it just flows pretty easily, flows pretty freely. But generally, this is a very flexible card, so Any deck you're running that isn't a combo deck, you could just kind of put this in because it just does a lot. It gives you information and stuff. So even if you're not necessarily building your deck around it, just having this in your deck list can make you win games that you otherwise would not have. So I'm not gonna say, oh, just play it in these particular decks. I think there's just a lot of decks you can put it in and have success in. So pretty cool. But overall, in terms of do I think this card should exist? I do think it's an interesting card. I just think I would make some adjustments to it. The main adjustment, I just think you should not be able to see the targeted card. I think that's too powerful for what it does. So you can argue that there are other cards that do this, like any discard effect that affects your opponent, right? So like Black Bolts, Moon Knight, right? It does. You do see the card that's discarded, but then again, all discard effects let you see the card that's discarded. So like that one is like not argument, but like it does work in like Yondu as well. It does let you see the targeted card, but Yondu affects a card that they haven't drawn, right? It doesn't affect a card that's in their hand that's already gonna provide value, theoretically. So it's a little bit different, and information is so strong in this game. You only have 12 cards, and by knowing a card in their deck, you also know what they're playing. Like a lot of times, if you show me a random card, like you have a deck of 12 and then you give me a random card, I can probably name like 3 or 4 archetypes that it is. And if you give me 2 cards, I can name it in like 80% certainty like they're playing this particular deck. Unless it's a very like unique and non-intrusive cards. But if you show me 2 random cards from the opponent's deck, I can know what they're playing very accurately. And Pig allows you to do that, right? They play a card on 1 or 2, and then you play a Pig. You kind of know what their deck is, and then you also just ruin what they're doing. So I just don't think it should apply to those like same values. It's more of an Iceman effect, where Iceman, yeah, you're messing up their card, you're messing up their deck, but you're targeting a card that's in their hand already, and not knowing what you target might allow them to continue playing. Where if you know that you've hit their death, if you know that you've hit their apocalypse, well, there's no really point to continue the game because you've already won. Like if you played out normally, they've lost a lot of value. You've already won, and that's just so strong as a whammy of a card to add in the game. I really don't think you should be able to see what you target, and then Pig should not be a 4-0, a 4-0. I just think it's just weird synergies. Like it shouldn't. Pig should not be buffed by Zabu. Like that doesn't make sense from a from a strategic point. Like there's not any synergy here where like Zabu should be buffing the Pig target. It doesn't make sense. And then the fact it can be moved with Magneto, it can be moved with Asteroid M is also just very weird synergy wise. And I just think it shouldn't have that kind of effect. Like I do think it's probably better if it just keeps the base stats of the base cost of the targeted card. So let's say you have like whatever you have pig examples or pig stats from 0 to like 8 or whatever number you need, right? And then just have it targeted into make a pig. That's the cost of the targeted card. It shouldn't just always be a 4 cost card or something, and it shouldn't always be like a 6 cost card or something. That's also a little weird, but I like that's easier. But I definitely think its current state is a little bit too weird in terms of the synergy that you have there. So I would probably adjust that, and if you make those adjustments, I think it'd be more okay. It'd still be a really strong card. It'd still be played even if you adjust these things. I just think the current state is just a little too overbearing, overpowerful. So that's my current thoughts on the card. What do you guys think? I still recommend it. You should get it. Like I'm saying you should get the card. I just think it needs adjustments. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Educated calling snap. Once you watch him, you won't go back. He'll teach you to marvel snap.
your skills will be improving.